You're listening to the Home Education Podcast, your number one stop for home education stories, adventures, tips, and ideas. I'm here today with Frogger.
Hello.
How are you today?
Fine.
Frogger is 6 years old.
7 years old.
7 years old. And we also have Toad, who is 5.
You mean 6?
I
Mr.
do.
Smithy.
I do mean 6. Oh, gosh, dear me. I thought that the cup of tea that I had in my hand would actually help. Maybe switch my brain on a bit, but apparently I'm living a year in the past. We also have Baby G, who may or may not make a guest appearance on the show. On today's show, we discuss early years science. We also talk about the government scrapping art history A-level and join Frogger and Toad for their scores of the week. You're very welcome to join us from wherever in the world you may be. Please do give us a shout out, give us a share, let us know where you are and what you're up to. It's been a very cold day where we are. We feel as though autumn has hit us with a bit of a bang, but we've been out today having fun. Where have we been today, Frogger?
Something to do with old Gisborough Church.
Okay, we've been to Gisborough Priory, and there were a lot of school children there as well. There were 3 different school groups there when we got there, but we found a nice quiet little corner just behind the main area where there is a clearing of some woodland, and there's kind of stilts to walk across and some special chairs and all sorts of really interesting things. So if you do go to Gisborough Priory, which is an English heritage place, it's free at the moment, so you don't have to pay to go in. You can take your dogs. We took our dog as well. She had a great time. But do go in and head up to the right-hand side, because there's a little hidden gem there that we didn't know about. We didn't learn anything about the history of Gisborough Priory today because we had gone there purely to meet up with friends. But you guys had a really good play about, didn't you? Yeah, and then we panicked because parking was a bit of an issue, so I had to run back to the car. So today we're going to talk about science. It's a scary word. Oh, it is to me anyway. I was always the one that couldn't do science or found it boring. Now I look back and I think, what on earth was that about? How can science possibly be dull? Science is everywhere. Science explains everything. I'm determined that Frogger, Toad and Baby G will find science fascinating. But how? Well, as home educators, there are a lot of resources out there. I'm going to talk about a few of your options. First of all, social media. There's a home ed group that you can go on. There's a science home ed group, and you can go on there for ideas and support. There's also, you could go out and find a tutor. For primary science, that's probably quite expensive and difficult. If you're in a more built-up area, a more urban area even, I forgot what the word was there, then you're more likely to find a tutor than we are in the middle of nowhere. There are several subscription boxes. You have subscription boxes such as Toucan, which explains the science behind the crafts that you're making, and then there are more expensive ones as you go along that go up with the age ranges. Lots of books. Usborne do excellent books. Websites, lots of different websites such as the National Geographic. They do a really good website. There's also BBC Bite Size. They do some good things on there. Other magazines, there's Whiz Pop Bang for younger children and Aquila. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Aquila. For some reason, I wanted to say it as though it's a Spanish word, so it's pronouncing the double L with a Y. I don't know if that's really right. So if somebody out there does know how to pronounce it, please do let me know, because I don't have a clue. Anyway, okay, you can also buy or download set curriculum. So this week, in our science, we've been looking at a website called Mystery Science, and Mystery Science have a limited free membership of a year. So we thought, let's give it a go. Frogger, can you tell us what we were learning about when we were looking at our science?
Of the eye.
That's right. Do you remember the experiment?
I know.
Yes, Toad?
We were dropping a ruler and somebody had to catch it, but I only got it once.
Yeah, we were dropping a ruler and catching it. You may remember this experiment from your own school days or your own experiences in education. So we were dropping the ruler and catching it, and we were showing our reflexes. So the whole point of the exercise was to teach how the messages need to go from your fingers and all of your senses and back up to your brain again, and then back down to your hand to tell it what to do. So all of your senses working together. We also, as Frogger was going to discuss, what did we do with to learn about how the eye sees and how the eye and the brain work together?
Well, there's nerves. Nerves coming out from your eyes to attach to your brain. And whatever you look at, your brain knows what it is. If it's seen it before, and it knows what it is, and it can tell the nerve going out to your mouth to say it.
Yeah, I think maybe getting a little bit muddled up. The brain and the eye and all of your other parts work together through your nerves. So when we were looking down a roll of paper and then having one eye open and one eye closed, holding our hand out, it actually confused our brain a little bit. And our brain suddenly thought, oh, I've got a hole in my hand. But obviously you didn't have a hole in your hand because there were no other messages going to your brain such as pain, because if you suddenly had a huge hole in your hand, you'd probably panic and it would hurt. So your brain was getting a little bit confused. We were confusing it with an optical illusion. So what did we think of the website? I thought it was very easy to use. The videos that talk you through it explain everything very effectively, very simply as well, but without talking down to a child level. So that is really good. The videos explain everything fully, and it's really easy to use. You just click from one to the next. There's also printouts for you to use. Our printout was quite colourful, very effective, and I felt as though we all learned something. What did you think about it, Toad?
Think about what?
What did you think about the science when we were learning about the hole in your hand and the ruler experiments?
I liked the ruler one, but I didn't like the hole in your hand one. I think I can do it.
Yeah, we found it a little bit difficult, didn't we, to get yours set up. Overall, I would recommend it, and we will be going back to do it again. I'd also like to point out that the interactions from the company to let you know what's going on and when and how to access it, they were really up to date and really thorough. So there were no questions left hanging over, oh, how am I going to do this and what do I need to do, because it was all there for you. So Mystery Science, free for a year, definitely worth checking out. We'll put a link in the on the web page as well. Okay, moving on. It's time for score of the week. Toad, what's your score of the week?
Seeing Uncle David.
Okay, where did Uncle David come from?
London.
And who did he bring with him?
Rosie, his girlfriend.
Okay, and how often do you get to see Uncle Dave?
Not that long. Twice a year.
Yeah, so you had great fun.
Once.
Once or twice a year, yeah. So he'd come up and made a special visit all the way up here to show his girlfriend the wonders of our area, in particular Staithes and Whitby, which are lovely places to be in. And you had great fun. What have you been doing with Uncle Dave? Fighting and wrestling, yes. Jumping on the back of Dave, who likes to have both Frogger and Toad attached to his back whilst he does things like push-ups and sit-ups and squats and hopping around. Basically being very, very strong and a bit silly. It's always good to be a bit silly. And let us, even though we are structured, we definitely have room for silliness. There's always room for silliness, so remember that in your own schedule. Okay, Frogger, how about your score of the week?
Nana, Auntie Lana, and Melanie, Rosie and Uncle David coming round for tea.
What did you eat for tea?
Chili and nachos.
Lovely.
And some crispy nachos.
Crispy nachos and soggy nachos, depending on whether the chili was on it or not, I suppose.
And I think he means crispy nachos as in the Dorito nachos, which tasted a bit like Quavers.
Okay, I can't remember what Quavers taste like. Are they cheesy? Okay, so we had that. Did you have any pudding? And did you have any input on the pudding?
The pudding was delicious.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, I helped Mummy whip up the cream, didn't I, Mummy?
Mm-hmm.
Mash up the biscuits. Mash up the bourbons.
Yes, bourbon biscuits. And we made a kind of, to talk about it in professional terms, because we've been watching MasterChef. Hello, baby J. She's sitting next to me now making some cute noises, if anybody is wondering what that noise is. So we made a deconstructed cheesecake with Baileys in it. And now that I have opened the bottle of Baileys and used 8 tablespoons, full, I have a whole bottle of Baileys to use up within the next couple of weeks. So if anybody has some great recipes that they'd like to share with me of what to do with a bottle of Baileys, then please do share them with me, because I'd like to know what to do and I wouldn't want it to go to waste. Okay, so you had a really nice time just hanging around with the family, or was it the food in particular? What was your favourite bit?
All of it.
All of it. It is nice sometimes just to spend time with the people closest to us and to make time for those people. Okay, so I think that's about all we've got time for this week. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add? Yes, Frogger.
I lost a tooth and the tooth fairy left me a letter. And then the next day when I was taking Daphne for a walk, I found a £10 note.
Wow, what a day. So hang on, let's go back to the beginning. You lost your tooth. How did you lose your tooth?
Well, I was just eating, it was already wobbly, and I was just eating my rice cake, and then accidentally bit onto it the first time. Then the second time I did it, it just came out.
Wow, just as a surprise in your rice cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your face was a picture. It was really entertaining. Like, oh, I've lost my tooth. Look, there it is. Very exciting. Okay, so you went to bed, you put the tooth in the usual place, you woke up on that first morning, and what happened?
There was only the tooth there, but the second night she came and she left a letter saying that she couldn't come the first night because someone called can't remember what he was called.
Was it Frogger?
Yeah, it was a Frogger.
It's weird, that rhymes with Frogger.
Yeah, it does. Frogger. And it was the king's birthday, and Frogger bopped the tooth fairy on the head with the frisbee, and she was dizzy all night. So that's why she was delayed.
Crikey, yeah. I mean, if she's got concussion, which is what would happen if you got bopped too hard on the head with a frisbee, then she really shouldn't be flying anywhere.
Nope.
So she came the following night instead and left that little note for you.
Yep.
Oh, well, it's good that she explained it. And how was her handwriting?
Very small.
Oh.
When she was supposed to say, sorry, I didn't come the first night, she said she missed out the urn and went, sorry.
Sorry. Oh, because we discussed last week what we thought the tooth fairy looked like, or it might have been the week before. We've got 2 children who are 7 and 6. There's teeth all over the place. Everyone's losing teeth. Hopefully not any grown-ups, so that's okay. So we imagined that she was quite small.
Yep.
So if the piece of paper that you got was maybe about the size of my hand, and I'm
Smaller.
imagining, well, a little bit smaller than that. Okay, maybe the size of my palm if we're going to be pedantic about it. So there we go. And it had really small writing, but that must have still been pretty heavy for the tooth fairy to be able to carry and to have to hold a pen. That it'd have to be quite a sizable pen. So she did well. She put in a lot of effort.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So any more wobbly teeth between the two of you? Have you got any more, Frogger?
Don't think so. I think I'm about up to my wheat teeth to fall out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all going. How about you, Toad?
I've got lots of wobbly teeth, but not that lot wobbly.
They're all a little bit of movement in all of them. Anyone else any wobbly teeth?
No.
No, I'm good as well, thankfully. But
Gwyn
we'll be
hasn't got one.
going to see. Gwyn hasn't got wobbly teeth either, though she is growing her new teeth. Education in the news this week has been about the dropping of the subject of art history from the A-level choices. So, what is going to happen from 2018 is that you will no longer be able to take an A-level in art history. The Association of Art Historians have called it a significant loss of access to cultures and ideas. The loss of this A level means future opportunities will be lost. Now, the AQA exam board says that the complex and specialist nature of the exams creates too many risks, and their decision has nothing to do with the importance of the history of art as a subject. So, meanwhile, running alongside that story has been the input from everybody's favourite politician, Michael Gove, who has decided to make it public his opinions that some subjects, such as ICT and art history, are soft subjects. He believes that these subjects are less rigorous and are not academic qualifications. So do we think that the AQA, the examining board, are right in thinking that the risks of creating a workable exam, together with the low subject uptake, as there aren't very many students wanting to study this, do we think that that is to blame? Or could it be the pressure from the government, of Michael Gove in particular, who like to blame Labour? Obviously, there's no surprise there, the Conservatives blaming the Labour Party for something, of allowing young adults to study these soft subjects. So where does that leave us? Is there such a thing as a soft subject if it's at A level? And distinguishing between a subject being academic and a subject being soft surely is just causing segregation and is devaluing the work of a lot of professional and academic people. So I'm not sure what your thoughts on this are. We'd love to hear from you. But meanwhile, we thought we might just bounce back a couple of ideas and what we believe the effects of this could be and what actually might be going on. So I was just going to ask Paul to join me. Hi, Paul.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's actually quite late at night now. We've had quite a bit of trouble getting baby G to sleep. She's only just gone to sleep, so it's all quiet in the house at the moment, which is rare. So, what do you think about what I've just said, Paul?
Well, it's difficult to actually understand what a soft subject, or what the meaning of soft subject is. But as far as I can gather from a couple of minutes of reading, it's a less valuable subject.
Yeah, that seems to be what people are associating with it, that it is not academic and it's not hard enough and therefore shouldn't be valued as an actual subject to study for A level. My first point here actually is that if it's too soft a subject to cover it at A level, why can you do a degree in it?
Well, I think that when you were doing your English degree, and the same when I was doing my computing degree, you start off your first few courses, they're quite general, wide basing. I mean, mine's a computing degree, and it's mostly based on programming. However, the first course was ICT. I enjoyed doing the ICT, but it wasn't really that relevant. Social networking and how to use Word, they're very limited in their time span. They don't really mean a lot. And so you start off with this general base and you specialise towards the end. And the end of your degree is really quite specialised at a certain subject that you think that you've excelled in. You pick that subject and you do your dissertation on that, and that's the end of your degree. And I think that doing an art history degree is the beginning of that specialism. You don't need to start off with a special A level in art history. you can still do art. Do I
Yes,
believe?
yes, I
you can still
believe
do art.
so.
So
You
yeah,
can
you
still
do
do
art,
art.
and you're still doing history in A level and other subjects like that. You don't need to do an art history A level, and I think that's also shown by the fact that there isn't many people doing it.
So I don't know if any of our listeners know. So why isn't art history part of an art A level already?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know
Surely,
either.
surely there wouldn't be a separate.
Do you know, we should have actually had
A-level
Melanie
for
on talking
this.
about this, as she has a degree in art history.
In
No,
fine art.
Fine art.
Fine
sorry,
art. A
Melanie.
very good degree as well. So congratulations to Mel for succeeding in doing that. And high recommendations of the Manchester School of Art.
That's Frogger and Toad's auntie, by the way.
Yes, it is. Technically their cousin.
But she'd probably be the better person to talk about this. But yeah, I would have said in your GCSE art and in your A-level art, then art history should at least be a module, a part of it, because it's general still, isn't it?
Yeah, or perhaps more part of coursework. There isn't
you a
much
taster.
coursework in A-level exams in their overall counting towards your exams. Perhaps it would be better for them to do a project. Not project, it sounds like I'm talking about Frogger and Toad's kind of work again, but a research area where... What is that bizarre noise outside?
Rain, or
Oh
sleet
gosh.
or hail.
Crikey, that's a bit noisy. I thought there was a ghost coming through the window. Some spookies getting ready for Halloween. Anyway, I'm digressing. So yeah, if they could do it as part of the whole A level, that would maybe be better. I'm not entirely sure why there is an art history degree. Do you know why there is an art history degree?
Well, I think a degree, I mean, that's fair enough.
No, an A level.
An A-level, yeah, well...
Gosh.
I don't know, and obviously that's why they're getting rid of it, because there isn't many people taking it, and because it is too specialist.
Perhaps at an as you said, at an A-level level, you don't need to be a specialist because you will go on to study further
Yeah, you
if that is what you
specialise.
want to do. And if you wanted a more general overview of it, then you would just do art. I might well be wrong. We might well be wrong, as we haven't studied it. It wasn't on offer when I was at school. It wasn't one of the A-level choices at all, and I haven't come across it as an A-level choice at colleges.
And do you know what? I really don't like to agree with Michael Gove, and I certainly
Ever.
don't like to be controversial, but I don't think it's a very valuable subject.
Okay, so your point there of it being a valuable subject. So let's forget about art history for now. Let's think about Michael Gove's wording of soft subjects.
Well, I haven't seen Michael Gove's wording or anything. I've read a brief article on the internet. I think it was the Telegraph, and a little bit of the BBC website's article on the matter. And the Telegraph said that universities have always sort of hinted that they only like particular subjects for their A-levels. But this year, they've actually published their preferred A-levels in order to admit you for their courses. And the soft ones are like your art history, ICT, dance, various things like that. And they're not preferred. They're like the fourth preferred subject. Whereas your history, geography, English, art, which I think are your main background subjects.
with your maths, your sciences,
yeah.
mathematics and sciences.
we talk
as
about
well.
STEM quite a
probably,
lot.
Probably music.
Yeah,
As well,
music
would be
probably,
in
yeah,
there.
and languages.
So these are back to your original core subjects. I think perhaps when Michael Gove was talking about how Labour have changed everything in allowing students to cover these softer subjects, is that they have more vocational A levels, which really such as, for example, dance, ICT, leisure and tourism. How on earth leisure and tourism became a degree,
Never got that myself.
I have no idea. But anyway, surely these are not degree. I kind of get what Michael Gove is saying there. They're not degree worthy subjects. They're separate because they're not academic. They are practical. They are vocational, and
Yeah.
so therefore there should be a separate qualification
Well,
for
like an
them.
NVQ.
like the GMVQs, the NVQs, which would be perfect for somebody who wants to go into a dance profession.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. However, an NVQ is only like an A level, I believe.
Yeah,
Roughly similar sort
GMVQ,
of level.
MVQ. Do you still get GMVQs? I'm not really sure.
GMVQs aren't they
BTECs.
pre-NVQs? You know, like your GCSE sort of levels, your
Oh,
first
no,
ones.
no, I
I'm
don't-
not entirely sure.
I don't
I know I
think
did
so.
NVQs, which would have led to an apprenticeship.
I just know that an MVQ was always worth 2 A levels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember in school, my tutor was trying to get me to do 3 A levels plus the GMVQ. So I would have
Right,
5
well, I don't really
altogether,
know.
and I just kind of said, well, I just want to do 5 A levels. But
Yeah.
anyway, but that was in leisure and tourism or business or something, and I remember thinking, why would I want to
Yeah.
do a degree
Well, actually,
in that?
what you've just said there is coming back to one of the reasons that, to me, is a good reason to home educate. Why learn all of these multitude of subjects, do 12 GCSEs, when you could learn the important ones: maths, science, English, history, geography.
And the ones that are relevant to you. So
Yeah.
if Toad says to me, Mum, I want to be a ballet dancer,
An
I would.
entomologist, you know what she wants to be.
I said Toad.
Or Toad.
Toad, thank you.
Well,
If
yes.
Toad wants to be a ballet dancer, first of all, it's probably not going to happen. But anyway, theoretically, I would say, well, okay, well, this is what we're going to work on. We're going to work on your maths. We're going to work on your science subjects. We're going to work on your English, and then we can do a dance GCSE.
Can you do a dance GCSE?
I think so.
I thought you just did.
Performing arts, it might be under.
Right, maybe.
It
I don't know. I mean, Frogger's doing piano lessons, and she goes through her books, and eventually she gets a level, doesn't she, of some description? I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
but
if we wanted to. it'd be
But
great to.
yeah, I would have assumed that doing dance would be just similar. You get to particular levels. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you do. You can do. Yeah, but I think in terms of a qualification, as in an academic qualification, then it would be a GCSE in performing arts. You can get them. I know you can do performing arts ones.
Doesn't seem to fit very well, though, does it, with an academic subject when you're doing something so physical and it's not practical, but it's physical, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is for GCSE, so it's not a ridiculously high academic standard. It's just like a basic level, a good basic level. I'm not trying to diss GCSEs, but they are the first step of a ladder of qualifications. But what I was trying to say is that because we're home educating, we can tailor the education to suit the children. Perhaps
Yes.
saying that dance wasn't a great example, but okay, let's take
Karate.
Frogger, who wants to be an entomologist. We've got biology and English and maths and physics, possibly chemistry. And then I'm not sure what other subject would complement that.
Well, yeah, I totally agree there. You're teaching the backgrounds, and through teaching all the background subjects, you then learn the subjects that you really like. You find out about things that you didn't know about before, and entomology is part of biology, I presume. So she might learn biology and then go, actually, I'm not bothered about insects. I really like X part of biology, and go off into that. Or physics, you might go, oh, magnets are brilliant, and start learning about physics. I don't know. But you don't know these things until you know about them. You've got to learn the background.
Yes, quite.
Is that a very bad point?
No, I just wasn't entirely sure where that was going, but it's quite possibly because I wasn't listening. Sorry, I was listening, but I got lost a little bit in thinking about Toad doing a dance GCSE and imagining him doing a dance GCSE when you take Toad to a disco or something where everybody is dancing and he just leans against my leg,
Yeah, looking rather terrified.
looking particularly terrified. Performing arts, I can't really see it.
Having said that, he does karate and he absolutely loves karate, and you can see a lot of sort of choreography in karate.
Yeah, that's very true. So yeah, I got lost in a little world of my own imagination there, which was quite entertaining. Going back to the fine art, the important thing to remember for anybody out there who might be panicking about wanting to go on to a history of art degree is that the exam boards say that having a level in a history of art will not affect your chances of being accepted. It's not going to change their enrollment policy. So the thing, I guess, the point that we're making is that the government are now focusing, and the university seem to be focusing, trying to bring the focus back to the what is now known as the bachelorette. So they want all students to have GCSEs in their core subjects, and then A levels to be in more core subjects as well. But the other point that I wanted to bring up here is that by labelling certain subjects as soft, is that not just devaluing quite a high proportion of the population straight away?
I don't think that's quite right what you're saying there, because he's saying the A levels are the soft subjects, whereas if you've done a degree of any kind, arts or science or anything, it's difficult. There's a lot of hard work in there. Its value to yourself. However, looking from a government's perspective, they might be thinking more how valuable it is to society, how much money they're going to get back from you in taxes. Now, if you're doing sciences and engineering, medical things, then your taxes are, there's a likelihood that you're going to be paying quite a lot of tax back over the years. Whereas if you're doing history of art, well, what jobs are there out there? I mean, museum curators and things like that, but is that really something is history of art really something that's going to give back to the country? And I reckon that's where the government are coming from.
No, but what I was trying to say about the somebody out there who has, say, a history of art degree is not that the difference between an art history degree and art history A level is not really much to do with that, but it's if as doing a degree in software engineering, if there was a software engineering A level and the government then said, oh, that software engineering A level is soft, how would that make you feel? It would make you feel devalued. And perhaps, yes, the government are probably thinking of the bigger picture as what are these children going to do when they're older. But don't forget that if you're studying art history, you're also, if you're going on to university or going on to any other training, you're not going to be just studying one A level. You're going to be studying maybe 4 or 5 A levels, and that would just be a part of it. And perhaps if art history is not quite as academic, is more vocational, if you are an 18-year-old child who is studying chemistry, physics, English literature, history, and history of art, it might actually be nice to do something other than just writing out lots of essays and doing mountains of reading. I don't know what makes up an art of history degree, but just say it is a little bit softer. Is there anything wrong with having just something extra to allow children to be a bit more creative, or to think differently, or to be a bit more vocational, to add to their learning? It doesn't necessarily mean that when they grow up that they are not going to get a job. I really hope we're not insulting anybody here.
No, I do as well.
Really do not. I do not know that much about what an art history A level consists of, or even what modern A levels consist of compared to when I did mine. But just going on experience, I want to really emphasize that I do not agree or disagree with Michael Gove and what he's saying about them being soft subjects, but I do disagree with the terminology of then devaluing a huge group of people And then it comes back to the old arguments that I used to always have with my brother that would kind of say, oh, well, you have your maths and your sciences and then you have English and history, and they're just, they're just soft subjects, as he would have described them. So I'm not trying to isolate anybody. I'm just trying to say that the wording of this, I think, is a little bit dangerous in calling them soft. But that is Michael Gove, and it was just one headline.
I think the point, though, was the soft subjects. I don't know what the definition soft subject means, but universities do not prefer that subject. It's, they want people who have got history, geography, languages, English, maths, science, not people who have got art history degree, dance A-level, art history A-level, dance A-level. They're not the subjects they're looking for. They're looking for people who have got this other background. It's not a preferred subject. Just, as far as I can understand, it doesn't mean it's less valuable. It's just not what the universities want from you.
Yeah, which I know that is the case with the universities, and that's absolutely fine. Maybe we should just get a little bit political, a little bit radical here, and maybe just say that Michael Gove is a bit of an idiot, and therefore maybe the newspapers should just pay less attention to him.
Well, to be devil's advocate, I don't know exactly what Michael Gove has said on the subject because I haven't read about it much, but I agree with the fact that art history is a less important subject.
To society as a whole?
Yes.
To you?
I think it's something that should be studied as a hobby.
A hobby? Tell that to the curators in the museums.
Well, it's just a specialism of history and art together. It's art history. Why can't you study art and it be a part of it?
Yeah, we're going around in circles now.
I know, but I don't understand really the value of art history. I don't get it myself.
That's because you've never studied it, presumably. But it must have had some value somewhere along the line for it to become an A-level subject. But don't forget that you will, I don't know of any jobs that you can do an A-level in that will guarantee you a job. Your A-levels are just getting you up to a certain academic standard.
Yeah.
So, but again, the interest isn't out there. But for me, the point of me bringing this up is there are a couple of points really that when you are home educating, one of the best things that you can do is to tailor your children's learning to what they want to do, what they're good at, and to get them an all-round good education to get them to that next level as to where they want to be. And secondly, the other point is that certain people going around describing certain subjects as soft isn't really helpful for any reason. If they want to drop it for the sake that it's not that popular and universities aren't looking for it anymore, then that's fair enough. But,
I wonder, sorry,
but the government describing those subjects as soft really does just devalue and deworth probably the lifetime work of a lot of people.
I wonder if they hadn't used the word soft, but used the words less preferred, if there would have still been a controversy.
I don't think so, because the universities would probably just go, yeah, fair enough. And everyone would say, oh, yeah.
Well, from the bit I've read, it is the universities it's coming from.
Yes, there is, but it's just that
no
the headlines
Gove
had
has
grabbed.
said.
Well, as I told you, Michael Gove has.
Is it him that's defined it as soft?
Yes, Michael Gove has said
So
that
it's just
it
a poorly
is soft.
worded definition then?
Yes, he says that it is less rigorous, a non-academic qualification.
Well, you can expect poorly worded definitions from a like him.
What word did you just say?
I'll just cut that bit out. God, this got to take some editing, this.
Okay, so meanwhile, let's leave Michael Gove to create a nation of highly academic Latin speakers who don't know anything about the history of art. And we shall leave this conversation there. We'll leave it with the view to make up your own mind. If you are a lover of art history, please do get in contact. Let us know what's so great about it. Why should it be an A-level? Why is it not part of art A-level? We'd love to know. Obviously, as you've heard from our discussion here, we don't really know much about it particularly. And also,
Just a
Michael
couple of
Gove,
clueless
if
people.
you are listening, I think maybe you need to find another vocation. I'm getting a little bit
I
political
wonder what he studied.
there.
Actually,
Art history A level.
did
at
I
the
read
Great
that
Centre.
business studies was a soft subject, or one of the less preferred subjects as well? And I wouldn't be surprised if politics A-level was pretty low on the ranking too.
Ah, yes, it's very rare actually to find somewhere that does politics.
Is there
But
any A-level in politics?
there is another A levels in history and politics together. But why not just politics? The history of politics, you see, all these
Yeah,
subjects,
again, politics needs to encompass history in it, I believe. So you shouldn't have to have a history of politics. Not until you get later on in a degree.
You
you
can
specialise
imagine
in.
though how much legislation there is in politics alone. Crikey, no.
You've got to know where things come from, though.
But,
So that's the history of politics is a core. Oh, we're definitely digressing now.
Definitely. Michael Gove and Nicky Morgan are out there giving you a big shout out for all of the useful work that you are doing. And anyway, it's time to move on from this. Our apologies if I have offended anybody. If we've offended anybody, we really don't mean to. But do get in contact and let us know.
Yeah, we actually could really do with knowing your opinions because our opinions are so ill-formed.
Yes, and we have been going round in circles now for quite some time. Yeah, well, that's about all we've got time for, as I said. Do join us next week where we will be talking about Halloween. We will have attended a Halloween party and hosted our own Halloween baby party. So find out what we're doing with our food and decorations. We're doing these all just before Halloween, so it should give you enough time if you want to try out any of our ideas. And thank you very much for listening again. Do leave some comments, some feedback. If you'd like to argue with me about Michael Gove and the History A-level, then please do, seeing as our online discussion of that didn't quite go to plan. I'm not entirely sure what my point was there, but just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was relevant. Thank you again for listening. It's a goodbye from Toad.
Goodbye.
And it's a goodbye from Frogger.
Goodbye. See you later, alligator.
And it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye.